Connecticut's Back to School Authority is sponsored by Yale New Haven Children's Hospital, one of the best in the nation.
And Channel 3 is your Back to School Authority. Colleges and universities are getting ready to welcome students and faculty back this week. We're going to see what college life could look like in the age of coronavirus. Heading off to college is an experience many students look forward to. It's something many parents also plan for. And this year, a lot of that is up in the air. But Connecticut state colleges and universities have been preparing for changes due to COVID-19 since the spring.
Plans that are submitted have, 4 components: how we're going to repopulate, how we're going to mitigate the spread, what are the not only diagnostic but other tools we're going to use to mitigate the spread of the virus, how are we going to contain it when it is seen on campuses, and it will be at some level, and then what do we need to do to pivot, to shut down our campuses and to move fully online. And there's not going to be one size fits all to that unless the governor has to make a decision to shut down the state again.
Ojakian, who oversees the state university system, including Eastern, Central, Southern, and Western Connecticut State, as well as the state community colleges, says the plan is to start bringing students back on campus in a phased way, starting today.
What I'm hearing a lot from students is they want to get back to school. They want to get back into the classroom. Many want to continue online, but many want that in-person instruction that's so valuable to them.
But with students back on campus, things will look different.
It'll look very different because we will offer a hybrid of online and in-person instruction. We will have physical distancing in our classrooms, so we will not have as many desks as we had before. Our dining experiences will be different on campuses. A lot of our activities will be held virtually as opposed to in person.
Testing protocols are also going to be a huge factor in keeping campuses open.
And we're going to monitor the level to which folks get infected on our campuses. Part of our plans require that we dedicate 10% of our dorm space for students who need to quarantine as a result of being diagnosed with COVID-19. And part of the plan also has institutions developing protocols to shut down, should we have to immediately shut down.
Meanwhile, out-of-state students coming from hot spots will be required to quarantine upon their arrival, and Ojakian says a lot of the responsibility to stay safe and healthy is on the campus community.
We can do everything we can to set up these very rigorous protocols to keep people safe, but there's a responsibility that's going to be, I think, put on our students and our young folks to recognize their social responsibility in keeping themselves and others safe, right? You can do everything you can to encourage, to educate students on the risks associated with the virus and the spread of the virus. You can have your campus safe. You can have all the protocols in place, but students will go off campus. Students will congregate at off-campus parties, for example. And we have to just continue to focus on the responsibility that students are going to have to keep themselves and others safe. That's the only way this is going to work.
But the goal is to get through the fall semester, and if need be, each school will have plans in place to pivot.
Because our state is doing so well so far in the fight against the virus, the repopulation of our campuses just adds more validation to the fact that Connecticut is a safe place to be right now. You still have to follow the protocols, but Connecticut is positioned to ride this out in a very good way. And I believe that so are the institutions of higher education in the state of Connecticut.
And coming up in about 30 minutes, we'll speak to the head of Hartford Schools about the district's plan to welcome thousands of kids back in just a matter of weeks.